Yo, what's going on guys, welcome back. Hope we're having a great day and we're all doing well. I do ask if you are new and do want to enjoy this video, be sure to drop it a like and consider subscribing. So what we're going to be talking about in this video is the upcoming Ubisoft free-to-play PvP first-person shooter known as XDEFIANT. And I'm sure some of you guys may have realized I didn't say Tom Clancy's XDEFIANT, I just said XDEFIANT. And that's something we'll get into in a little bit. So for you guys who do not know, XDEFIANT was actually revealed last year as Tom Clancy's XDEFIANT. And it is a fast-paced arena shooter in the same sort of scope as Call of Duty, and I actually believe the person in charge of the project is the same person who is in charge of Call of Duty Ghosts. And there was actually a closed test for XDEFIANT last year, which I managed to be part of, and it was under NDA, so obviously I don't have any gameplay and everything, and I'm not allowed to say too much, so I'm going to try and keep all the stuff I say based on trailers, but basically it did feel like a COD game, and I actually really enjoyed it. The time to kill was perfect, I liked a lot of the gadgets that you brought. I thought the map design was really good. It was just an extremely fun arena shooter, and for a free game, and also in the day and age where games like COD, at least for me, have just dropped off completely and are just awful in my opinion, this was a really nice change of pace. But one of the biggest complaints about this game was it didn't feel Tom Clancy, and a lot of people were saying, why is Tom Clancy's name on this game? But basically this game had 4 different factions from 3 different Tom Clancy games. One from Splinter Cell, one from Ghost Recon, and 2 from the Division. As well as this, some of the maps were also themed from those games. There was a Division 2 map, which was actually a crash plane in the middle of Washington, which is of course a location in the Division 2. So since the closed test in August of last year, we've actually heard nothing about this game. That was until yesterday when Ubisoft actually has given us more information. So first and foremost, they have actually changed the logo of the game and removed the Tom Clancy tag. As you can see, there is no longer the Tom Clancy tag at the top, and the logo seems to be more bold and formal rather than being the more quirky, rebellious logo which they were going for. And yeah, I gotta say, I think I do prefer the new logo. And about the removal of the Tom Clancy title, that will actually be explained in what I'm about to read. So what Ubisoft said is, Defiant, we are pleased to welcome you to our XDefiant Insider session. These play sessions will place players with and against our development team to showcase different features of the game. We learned a lot from our last closed test thanks to your in-depth and genuine feedback, which we are hoping for even more of. XDefiant Insider sessions will be available for select registrants on PC. Invitations to these sessions will be sent starting March 15th. As the tests progress, we plan to expand the number of participants. Remember, registration is open to all players, PC and console, so be sure to register for updates on when console players will enter testing. These sessions will be an opportunity for you to get your hands on in-progress features and provide feedback. Additionally, you'll be introduced to factions from games outside of the Tom Clancy universe. With these changes, the game will now be known as XDefiant, and the rest of the document basically just says be sure to register, and also that these sessions will be under NDA. So guys, there's actually a lot of stuff to take from this. First and foremost, obviously, is that they're going to be doing more closed tests, this time with developers and players, which is going to be really cool, especially since you can give direct feedback to the developers and play with them. That is something really cool, and I hope more games actually do that in the future. And I guess the second biggest thing to take from this is the fact that it says you'll be introduced to factions from games outside of the Tom Clancy universe. And now that does spark quite an interesting discussion, and I'll say every character so far in that game have all been Tom Clancy related. I don't think every map is Tom Clancy related. Like I said, there is a few which you can clearly see have been taken from the Division, for example. But when they say that they'll introduce factions from outside the game, does that mean that they're going to remove the Tom Clancy factions, or that they're just going to add more which are non-Tom Clancy themed? Like, I get it, if you don't really like what Ubisoft's done to Tom Clancy titles, I guess that's fair. It doesn't really bother me that much, so I think even if it is just player feedback, I doubt they'll remove them. I don't really like that there's a situation where you have to tread on such dangerous ground with Tom Clancy characters because people will have a meltdown on Twitter because of it. So I'm going to assume that they probably will keep the existing Tom Clancy characters, but rather than making this a Tom Clancy only shooter, maybe they're just going to make it a Ubisoft shooter, so it will include characters from other Ubisoft titles, or maybe even other non-Ubisoft titles if they get the rights to it. But I guess that's one way to stand out from the crowd if you can manage to get a bunch of other IPs all together in a COD style arena shooter. I know people kind of take the piss out of Fortnite for stuff like this and just having as many IPs as they possibly can, but I'm a sucker for that stuff. Let's be honest, I'm a consumer, so if they actually can get rights for other games which are not even Ubisoft games and put them all together in an arena shooter, I would play the hell out of that. It probably won't be that, it'll probably be only Ubisoft IPs, but then that also begs the question, what other, shooter IPs do Ubisoft have which aren't in the Tom Clancy universe? Their biggest game, arguably, is Rainbow Six Siege. That's a Tom Clancy game. I really can't think of any other Ubisoft IP which is shooter involved and would work in this game which isn't in the Tom Clancy universe. Maybe I'm just not knowledgeable on my Ubisoft lore, but if there's any games you guys can think of, then let me know in the comments, because when I think of Ubisoft and I think of shooters, I only really think of Tom Clancy titles. I guess the only other franchise I can think of is Far Cry, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see until more information is revealed. Of course, if I do get access to the test and I do get to see what the new factions are, I wouldn't be able to tell anyone anyway because it is under NDA and you've got to respect that. That is a legal binding document which you do sign. So guys, I am really excited for XDEFIANT, and if you are too, be sure to subscribe to this channel for more news, information when it does come. I'll leave a link in the description to the website where you can sign up and register yourself for the closed tests, and it is a really good game, but if you don't like it, there's no money out of your pocket since the test is free and the game at launch is going to be free as well. So yeah guys, I am ending this video here, so if you did enjoy, be sure to drop it a like, dislike it if you did not. If you are new, be sure to subscribe, check out my other videos. I shall catch you all later. I love you all. Have a great day. Peace.